Namaste. Welcome to Friday, March 12th for your yoga practice. Please do make sure that you have your blocks available today. And I also always like a blanket if you've got it. Fridays, the name comes from Freya, a goddess of love. And so on this day, no wonder we traditionally have dates on Friday nights. It's a day affiliated with love and an open heart. So today's practice will reflect that, and hopefully we can carry the open heart feeling into our work week or our work day and the weekend. Let's begin in a comfortable seat. As you arrive, take a breath or two. Call it Ukulele Friday. Chant a round of Om. As you arrive, sit tall. Roll your shoulders up, back and down, letting the heart have a little micro lift. Yeah, hands at heart center if you like. Big inhale for Om. Allow the vibration to settle all around you. Slowly release your hands to your knees. And as you inhale, draw your heart forward. Move at a pace that feels good to you. We'll take these big circles each direction. Inhaling forward and exhaling back. You might close your eyes here. You might open and close your jaw. Throughout practice, you're welcome to keep some space between your teeth, letting your jaw be soft. And as you're ready, switch directions of your big circles. Notice your thighs. Notice your hips. Notice your low back. Maybe you can notice your deep abdominal muscles supporting you. Another cycle of breath. And as you pass through center, we'll pause, finding a little balance in Navasana or a boat variation. So you might keep your hands by your hips. Please draw your shoulder blades together and down. Maybe hover on your hips, let your toes come off the mat. You can glue your knees together, maybe lift your shins towards parallel. Maybe you float your hands off of the mat, leaning back, lifting your heart, engaging your abdominal muscles, breathing, wiggle your toes. You can point and flex your feet. Maybe pull some attention away from your core that's working so hard. And with your next exhale, slowly set your legs back down, crossing the opposite leg in front. If you didn't take note, then it's probably the opposite of whichever you automatically did. And then return to your large circles, working a little differently into each hip now. Notice how it feels as you inhale the heart forward and exhale it back. Thinking of this heart space as being three-dimensional, so not just the front of our body, but our sides, the back body. As you inhale forward, your shoulder blades slide together, heart pulls forward. As you exhale back, imagine the shoulder blades revealing the back of the heart, stretching it both ways. And as you're ready, switch directions of your big circles. Another cycle or two of breath here. And eventually we will return to neutral. Now you can stay in Sukhasana easy seat if this feels good to you, or if you'd like to explore Virasana, Hero's Pose. I always like to sit on a block in Hero's Pose, so block between the feet and ankles. And I also like a blanket under my seat. We'll be here for just a moment. If it's uncomfortable, you can return to easy seat. Shoulders are stacked over hips. You might lean back slightly in space to make that true. As you inhale, lift the crown of your head towards the sky. As you exhale, allow your shoulders to relax down. On an inhale, sweep your arms out and up overhead. Exhale, cactus your arms, bending the elbows, goddess arms. Inhale, lift your heart, take a back bend. Shoulder blades together. Exhale, shoulder blades slide apart. Forearms come to kiss in front of your face. Inhale, lift your heart, open your arms. Exhale, round your spine, chin to chest, core muscles hugging back. Again, inhale and exhale. As you inhale, this is a big pectoral muscle stretch. About 2 more times, maybe you open your arms up more like a Y. And then still hug your arms back to the midline. Let's take one more time for good measure. Really notice your abdominal muscles as you stretch up. And exhale, hug the muscles back towards the spine. And release. Inhale your arms out and up. Exhale, twist over to your right, lowering your left hand to your right thigh. Keep sitting tall. We still want the center of our crown stacked over our spine, centered over our hips. So you might need to lean back in space slightly. As you inhale and your body expands, notice the pressure. You're a bit contorted, so you can't expand the way you would if we were seated neutrally. On your next inhale, allow yourself to unwind, arms reach out and up. Exhale, twist over to your left, lower your arms down. Right hand comes to left thigh, still sitting really tall. Imagine like a marionette, a puppet. We're lifting up out of the crown of our head. With every inhale, you might unwind a little bit to accommodate the expansion of the breath. And with every exhale, as the abdominal muscles squeeze in, maybe you deepen the twist. Deepening the twist is never necessary, just an option. On an inhale, return to neutral, reach up. And exhale, float your arms down, drawing an arc around yourself. Make your way into tabletop. You can keep your blocks with you. If you like them under your hands, you're welcome to use them here. Begin moving through cow and cat. Move in a way that feels good to you. Feel free to explore. We'll say about 5 slow breaths here, but move at any pace you like. Good. Let's all return to a neutral spine. Really hug your core muscles in. Work your left foot up by your left hand, whatever it takes to get there. Make sure that the ankle stacks right under the knee. Breathe here as you roll your shoulders back and down. keep your right hand planted, bring your left hand to your thigh, and start to look over to the left. Allow a twist to originate from your core. You might even use your hand to pick up and move your belly tissue. Hug your left knee in towards the midline. Send your left hip back a little bit. And maybe you deepen the twist. You can bring your left hand to your hip or up overhead. If the right hand feels too high on the block, if you're using that, you can drop down, hand to mat. And freedom to explore here. If you want, you can bend your left arm and open out. Maybe you reach it up alongside your ear. Maybe you even draw some big circles. Air guitar. Breathe deeply wherever you go with it. You also have the option to tuck your right toes, lift your right leg off of the mat, maybe just for a breath or two, creating some space, exploring your options, breathing deeply wherever you are. If there's one thing that bears repeating, it's that cue. One more inhale on your twist. Exhale, unwind. Release your right knee to the mat if you lifted it. On an inhale, lift your torso, stacking shoulder over hips. You can stay here reaching straight up, or maybe your left hand grabs your right wrist. You pull up and over as you breathe, noticing the stretch through the connective tissue on your right leg as we do this. Keep anchoring your tailbone down, lengthening your spine. Inhale, return to neutral, reach up. Exhale your hands back to block or mats. Flex your right ankle and then draw the heel towards your hip, hamstring curl. Breathe deeply here. Be kind to your knees. If you feel any sharp sensations, just back off. Maybe this feels good. Maybe you swim your arms forward and then around back behind you. Maybe you can clasp your right ankle. No worries if not. If you find it with one or both hands, lift your heart while you kick your foot into your hands. Breathing here. You might hold the ankle with your left hand, releasing your right hand to the sky, maybe even taking Gyan Mudra, index finger to thumb. Doing all parts of your yoga practice in a way that best serves you. Relax your jaw here. One more breath. As you exhale, slowly release whatever variation you made it to. Lift your right knee off of the mat, big inhale. Exhale, step yourself back to downward facing dog. Your hands can stay on the blocks or not. Breathe here. You might sway your hips side to side. You might shake and nod your head as you melt your heart down towards your thighs. Remembering a bend in the knees is welcome to help us lift our hips high. Core muscles engaged, belly is scooping in while the head hangs heavy here. One more inhale, look forward between your hands, and exhale, draw your right foot to the right hand. Drop your left knee. Lengthen your spine while you roll your shoulders back and down. You can keep your left hand on the block or move it to the mat with your right hand. Hold on to your right thigh and start to look to your right, taking spinal twists the other direction. Again, don't worry if you've got to pick up and move your belly to accommodate the twist. Make it happen. As you breathe here, you might extend your right hand up to the sky. Maybe you float your right arm around, finding a sweet spot for that pec stretch. Take any variation you like. Maybe you lift your left leg off of the mat. Lots of energy going into your left leg, pushing out through the heel. As you breathe here, is there anywhere you could let go? You might draw your right hip back in space slightly for the next breath. On your next inhale, can you reach even higher? Exhale, untwist, set your right hand down, drop your right knee if it's lifted. On an inhale, lift your spine, lifting the torso, lifting the arms. Your left toes can always stay tucked or untucked. It's really a preference, personal preference. And breathe here. Option with your right hand to hold onto your left wrist, pull it up and over. Lateral spinal flexion, moving the spine today in all of the ways it likes to move, forwards and backwards, sideways and in twists. All of these movements help our body create synovial joint fluid. So you can think of your yoga practice as a lubricating soak for all of your joints. On an inhale, release your hands up to the sky, big stretch. Exhale, hands down to blocks or mat. Tuck your left toes and then draw the left heel towards your left glutes. Hamstring curl. You're welcome to stay here or fire up your balance. To help stabilize, imagine dragging your left knee towards your right heel. You might even feel your pelvic floor lift when you do that. Now swim your arms forward and then around back. Maybe your hands find your ankle, in which case kick back while you lift your heart up. Keep engaging your abdominal muscles. So we're long through our low back. Breathe here. If it's an option, then maybe you keep holding your ankle with your right hand and you lift your left hand to the sky. Maybe taking Gyan Mudra, index finger to thumb, said to help with focus, concentration. Relax your shoulders, relax your jaw as you breathe, acknowledging this is challenging. You're doing the best you can with what you've got, and that is perfect. Big inhale. And exhale, slowly release your hands and foot back to the mat. Lift your left leg off of the mat, give it a good stretch. Inhale. Exhale, step forward, Uttanasana, forward fold. Hang heavy. Take any movement that feels good. If you'd like, you can straighten your left leg, deeply bending your right leg. And then bend your left leg, straightening your right leg. Shift side to side another time or two if you like. And then in neutral, take a big inhale. Exhale, sigh it out if that feels good. On your next inhale, root down while you rise all the way up. Core muscles engaged all the way to the top. Exhale your hands to heart center and down by your side. Pause for a moment to find Tadasana, mountain pose. Simple on the surface perhaps, but I think by now we've noticed it is a foundational posture for really all standing poses and even some others. So standing down into your feet actively, but we're light on our toes, maybe even lifting them off the mat throughout practice. Core muscles are engaged, neutralizing the pelvic bowl so we're not spilling our energy forward, anchoring the tailbone down, lifting the heart, sliding the shoulders back and down, ears over shoulders, over hips. Gazing forward. On an inhale, reach your arms out and up. Exhale, hinge forward all the way down. Inhale to lift halfway. Exhale to fold down. Inhale, root down and rise up. Exhale, hands to heart center and down. Inhale, arms out and up. Exhale, fold forward, hands touch down. Step your left foot back in space, setting up for warrior two, heel to arch alignment. On an inhale, rise up, Virabhadrasana 2. Please take the moment to look down, make sure that your front heel is centered with the arch of your back foot. Anchor into the pinky side edge of your back foot. You should be able to see your right big toe on the inside of your right knee. Fingertips are reaching away from each other, shoulders sliding down. Gaze over your front fingertips, but keep your heart towards the long edge of your mat. Don't let it pull forward. Another big breath in warrior two. Clasp your hands behind your back, yoga mudra. Draw the knuckles down as you inhale your heart. As you exhale, fold forward over your right thigh, bringing the right shoulder towards the right knee, knuckles towards the sky. Let your head hang heavy here. Keep pressing into the pinky side edge of your back foot. Big inhale and exhale. On your next inhale, release your hands, return to warrior two. Exhale, cartwheel your hands down, pause in this high runner's lunge. Inhale and exhale back to plank pose. Inhaling in plank. Exhale, lower your knees, bend your elbows, lower all the way down. Untuck your toes. On an inhale, lift your heart. Bhujangasana, baby cobra pose. We will stay here and breathe. Please engage your core muscles. Try to draw your tailbone down towards your heels. In baby cobra, we're light on our hands, having our upper body really work for it, our upper back. If you'd like to, you can press your hands into the mat, really pulling your heart forward, pulling your hands back towards your feet, finding Bhujangasana, taller cobra. Keep breathing here. Hold the posture in a way that works for you. You can always lower down. As you breathe, I'll share a reading about Cobra Pose. When you were an infant, long before you could walk, you began to lift yourself off the floor and look around. This begins the curiosity that stimulates the desire to move forward, which leads to creeping, crawling, and walking. Cobra begins to strengthen your spine while rooting down into your pelvis. It accesses the primal part of your brain, known as the reptilian brain, which is oriented to survival, the psychological aspect of your first chakra. Another inhale in Bhujangasana. Exhale, lower down. You can make a pillow for your forehead with your hands and sway your hips side to side. Another clearing breath or two here. Plant your hands back under your shoulders, tuck your toes, big inhale, engage your core muscles as you exhale and push the ground away, push up through plank pose, hug your core muscles in. Inhale, bend the knees, exhale, send the hips high. Inhale, look forward, and exhale, step your left foot to the top of the mat. Set yourself up for warrior two on the other side. Inhale, rise up, Virabhadrasana 2. You can see your left big toe on the inside of your left knee. Fingertips are reaching away from each other. Actively press back through your right pinky toe edge of the foot. Core engaged, spine lifted. Notice if your heart is shifting towards the front of the mat, keep it open towards the long edge. Another big inhale. Exhale, maybe settle a little lower into your left thigh. Clasp your hands behind your back, Yoga Mudra. Inhale, lift your heart, draw your knuckles down. And exhale, hinge forward, fold over your left thigh, left shoulder towards left knee, knuckles towards the sky, head hanging heavy, very active through your back leg. Big inhale. And exhale. On an inhale, rise back up, warrior two. Exhale, cartwheel your hands down, pause and runner's lunge. Inhale here. Exhale, giant step forward to Uttanasana, forward fold. Heel toe your feet out, toes point out, and sink your hips down, passing through Malasana, garland pose, just long enough to take a breath. And as we exhale, send the hips down. Grab your blocks, please, and roll onto your spine. Going to explore bridge pose. If you don't have blocks, then please find a version of bridge that works for you. That might mean that on every inhale, you float your hips up, arms reaching up overhead. Exhale, arms and hips down. Maybe if you'd like a still, steady bridge pose, you lift your hips, pressing your feet into the mat while you walk your shoulder blades towards each other. You can clasp your hands under your body or hold on to the outer edges of your mat. If you have blocks, I really recommend that you slide a block under the base of your spine on your sacrum. It's almost like a plate made for a yoga block at the end of your spine. So supported bridge pose, keeping your knees in alignment with your hips. You can explore the sensation of drawing your heels towards you or pushing your heels away. If you push your heels away, you might be able to experience a bit more opening through the low back. If you were in supported bridge pose, or if you've got your hands on your hips instead of a block, maybe you explore drawing one knee in towards your chest and then lifting it up towards the sky. If that feels good and steady, maybe you invite the other knee to draw in towards your chest and then up towards the sky. Our shoulder blades are still walking under us, so our heart is lifted. The back of the head is pressing into the mat, so the chin is lifted to the sky. We're not scrunching our chin to our chest. If the legs are up in the sky, spread the toes wide. Maybe point and flex your feet. Lift your heart as you breathe. Yeah, moving in any way that feels good, looks great. Now you are welcome to stay in this shoulder stand variation as long as you'd like. If you're in bridge pose and feeling really steady, you can stay there too. Otherwise, we'll go ahead and make our way onto our spine to close out practice with a brief Shavasana. So if your legs are lifted, just carefully lower one and then the other foot to the mat. Press your feet into the mat while you lift your hips, removing the block. As you arrive on your spine, resist the urge to hug your knees in. Instead, let's open our arms out wide and let the knees fall to the left and then the right, windshield wiping the legs side to side. Allowing gravity and time to decompress and neutralize your spine. As you're ready, send your legs long, palms to the sky, and give yourself to a moment of Shavasana. As you breathe here, I will share a quote from George Bernard Shaw. Miracles, in the sense of phenomena we cannot explain, surround us on every hand. Life itself is the miracle of miracles. Miracles surround us on every hand. Life itself is the miracle of miracles. Deepen your breath. Of course, stay longer if that time is available to you. For those closing our practice now, we will return to Sukhasana, easy seat. As you arrive, draw your hands together in heart center, remembering that there are limitless possibilities to this day, to this life. Let's close by sharing one round of Om. Inhale deeply. Thank you for sharing your practice. Namaste.